Why not take advantage of this opportunity? You can go ahead and be part of something um, that's growing a local pure salvage outpost. So you can build these houses of different sizes. You can build them like they used to build them. The plans are all there. Or you can build them new and different, like I tried to show with Tiny Texas Houses, some 75 designs that you can do out of all these windows and doors if you don't believe it's possible. And you can build the older style, bigger houses. It just takes more. Now I'm about to go ahead and sell about 200, 300, 500, would you believe, windows in their jams out of these very houses. Some are very sets out of the Ferry House, the Hudson. These are the sets that I've got sitting in warehouses for 25 years waiting for the right time. What was the right time? When you all were ready. Are you ready? Are you ready to do this all-American, homespun, local outposts, elders getting together with young people to put houses together out of the parts that you could salvage out of all the other materials gifted to us? These houses are still standing. The houses in this book, they're still all around. A lot of them can be saved. How do I know that? I saved those houses in Austin. If you want to go out and drive by Paquito, that's a street in Austin. Once upon a time, it was full of crackheads, and there were prostitutes that were using these houses that were boarded up to do criminal activity. Drugs were being sold. And those were all fixed up. And later on, went from being $7,000 and boarded up on a lot, 50 foot by 120, selling for $7,500 per lot with those houses. Nobody dared live in them. The neighborhood was too rough. In fact, at that time, it was very rough. So I took it on. Nobody else would. I was a young buck, 32, 33 years old, thought I could use my talent, the system, my energy, and guess what? We restored them. Later on, I sold them, but I didn't sell them for what they're worth today. Today, they're worth $500,000 for these tiny little Sears and Roebuck houses on the land, just about 4 blocks from the University of Texas, of course. But in those days, white people didn't go over there. That was dangerous. It was. Until I fixed up the houses. They were really old houses. Didn't put in vinyl windows, didn't put in metal windows, put in original old wood windows. And they lasted and are still lasting, like many of the houses I fixed up in the French Place neighborhood back in the 1980s, when I restored houses that are now worth $1 million. Then they're worth $45,000 to $60,000. And I sold them fixed up, remodeled with the original windows in them for $60,000, $75,000, $80,000. So please, I created a bunch of first-time homebuyer opportunities that later on were so expensive I couldn't afford to live in those homes anymore. Homes that sold for $45,000. These very houses in these books, fixed up rehab, $47,000, and 5 years later, $205,000. And today you couldn't buy that for $500,000. Is it the value of the dollar or the willingness of people to pay and go into debt? Please pay attention. I'm going to have this incredible sale. I want you to be able to come to it. It's a liquidation sale of all these assets that were homes. I'm 70 years old. I'm not going to be building and running a business anymore, but I want others to learn and benefit and thrive from what I've learned during my 4 decades, from fixing up houses after arriving in Texas with $640 to my name, living in a school bus. I moved into that neighborhood. My son was born. I bought my first house, actually my second house. My first one I lost, had to give up right away because I bought it on a contract for deed and found out my first day of real estate agent class, that was the stupidest thing I could have ever done. And I had to walk away from my first house. I learned my second house was owner financed, and it was one of these very, actually, a Sears catalog house in Austin, Texas, in the French Place neighborhood on Warner Avenue. So, my second house, also a Sears catalog house over on Hollywood, 3706 Hollywood Avenue. So, trust me, they're all over our country. They're still good houses. Why not buy the parts, the windows, the doors, and use those to build your next house with? Seriously, you'll never get them cheaper. This is an amazing sale. I want everything to leave these warehouses and go off to become houses or house parts. Please join me. Memorial Day, and then a big sale out at the main place on IH10 in Luling, the Tiny Texas House's birthplace, called Salvaged, Texas. That sale, final through June, will end on July 4th. More of a celebration. A celebration of the past and the independence, the freedom that this will bring for me and for many others. Please share the blessings. Thank you. And you too. All right. Any other questions? I guess I better end it then. Hard to believe.